Coming up this morning on Action News, Umatilla police are investigating a late-night shooting that sent one man to the hospital. His condition is unknown, and it's unclear if there are any suspects. Police hope you saw something. We'll fill you in. Plus, a new report from an HR investigation found inappropriate workplace conduct within the Sunnyside Police Department, ranging from racism to ageism. The report says training is needed and recommends corrective action. We'll talk the report. And we have new details in the case against Yakima County Coroner Jim Curtis. He is being investigated after he claimed someone tried to poison him by putting drugs in his drink. Police soon finding out that wasn't the case. The disturbing admission from the coroner and more coming up as you start your day with us right here on Action News. Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
Good morning. I'm Mike McCabe in for Jefferson Donovan.
And Mike, yesterday was definitely a cooler day, especially compared to some of the days we saw earlier on this week. That cool front really came through, and things have definitely starting to feel like autumn out there. Yeah,
definitely cooling off a little bit for us. We're actually going to warm up today and actually over the next couple of days. So it's kind of up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster for us. And the wind is going to be a factor for us as well in some spots. Right now outside our studios in Yakima, 46 degrees, a little bit of a breeze out of the west at 5. That wind has picked up in some spots like Ellensburg, and that's going to be a part of your forecast today and for the Tri-Cities right now. 57 in Pasco with a west-southwest wind at 5 miles per hour. A look at our headlines. Breezy in some spots today, mainly sunny and a little bit warmer through Saturday, and then those winds pick back up again for us late Saturday and Sunday. Lots to get to. I'll have all the details with your full storm tracker forecast. That's coming up later on in the show.
Thanks, Mike. We begin this morning in the Beaver State. Police in Umatilla continued to investigate a late-night shooting. According to officials, just before 1:30 yesterday morning, dispatch took several calls from people who heard multiple gunshots in the area of Pine Tree Avenue and Bluebird Drive. Officers found a 21-year-old man who'd been shot. He's getting medical care, but his condition has not been released. Umatilla City Police are asking that if you live in the area to check any home surveillance cameras, or if you heard or saw anything, to give them a call. On to an update now on the officer-involved shooting in Milton Freewater earlier this week. Oregon State Police say it started Tuesday evening when a man possibly suffering from mental health issues got into someone's home. It's believed he was the same person seen hanging around Glib Allinger Elementary, 30-year-old Daniel Soto Madrigal, who had an active felony arrest warrant. State police say when the Milton Freewater officer arrived and tried to take Madrigal into custody, he resisted. There was a struggle, and he was shot. Madrigal was listed in stable condition at last check, and the officer has minor injuries. State police are handling the investigation. A Walla Walla man is facing a number of charges after being accused of severely injuring his ex-girlfriend. Walla Walla police say there have been 7 separate reports of domestic violence or domestic disturbances involving 24-year-old Robert Lucero and his ex-girlfriend between May and September of this year. Police say despite Lucero violating multiple no-contact orders prohibiting him from contacting his ex, he was released from jail each time. They say 3 hours after he was released from jail on September 23rd, he assaulted and strangled his ex-girlfriend through the night. Lucero was arrested on September 25th and now faces first-degree burglary, domestic violence, 2 counts of domestic assault, second-degree assault, domestic violence, and felony violation of a court order, among other charges related to domestic violence. Lucero recently served a 13-month prison sentence for domestic violence involving his ex-girlfriend and was released late last year. So far, police have not released the condition of his ex-girlfriend. An HR investigation found evidence of inappropriate workplace conduct within the Sunnyside Police Department. After the report was released, a Sunnyside Police Detective Sergeant was given a 2-day suspension, and 2 detectives were given written reprimands for inappropriate workplace behavior that occurred on Juneteenth, the federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the U.S. Now, the report also details that this wasn't the first instance of inappropriate workplace conduct and that there were many other reports of harassment over several years, including instances of racism, sexism, and ageism. The report recommends corrective action and advises training is needed across the whole department. We have new allegations against Yakima County Coroner Jim Curtis, and they are surfacing. Recently, Ellensburg prosecutors started reviewing Curtis's case to determine if charges should be filed against him. Now, this is to avoid conflict of interest in Yakima. What we've learned is that on August 27th, Curtis called Yakima police claiming that someone had put drugs in his energy drink the day before. He told police he took one sip and said, quote, "It tasted acidic," and then he spit it out. Curtis ended up being taken to the hospital after he was found unconscious in his office. A drug test found he had fentanyl in his urine, while water in his tea kettle contained fentanyl and cocaine. On August 29th, detectives found drugs on his desk. Curtis originally stated he believed someone put those drugs there. On September 12th, Yakima police gave Curtis a polygraph test, which they say showed indications of deception. After being told the results, Curtis admitted to using drugs 3 times a week for several months at his desk. He said he got the drugs off deceased bodies. Right now, Deputy Coroner Marshall Slight has been appointed by county commissioners to lead the department until mid-October. We'll be sure to follow up on this case when Kittitas County prosecutors make a decision on whether to file charges. Folks with the Benton County Public Utility District want you to know about a new scam they've been seeing over the last few days. A spokesperson says they've gotten several calls from customers concerned about people coming to their doors trying to sell solar panels, claiming to be working for the PUD.
We haven't really seen this before, but just if anything is of concern, a phone call, a door-to-door solicitor, anything, if someone's claiming to be Benton PUD, I would just encourage people to contact us directly and see if it's real and valid.
Now, while the PUD often sees phone scams asking for payments, this is the first time they've seen anything quite like this. If you're ever in doubt, it's probably best to reach out to verify if it's real. The PUD will never send people to your door trying to sell you any products or asking for payments, and they do not sell solar panels. And a ceremony in Kennewick yesterday for the newest graduates of the Benton and Franklin Counties Adult Drug Court Program. Yesterday afternoon's graduation is the 6th to take place this year, highlighted by the graduates getting to shred their charging documents and having their drug conviction wiped from their record. The 3 men who received their diploma shared their struggles with the courtroom and gave advice to those still going through the program.
At the beginning of this year, I honestly did not think that this was something that I was going to be successful at. As long as you're doing the things that you're required to do and the things that are asked of you, this program will go by smoothly, and it does come to an end. I mean, I'm proof of that.
Leaders with the program say in the 21 years since the beginning of the Benton Franklin Drug Court, 372 local community members have graduated. And with that, let's jump right over to Storm Tracker Mike McCabe. Mike, yes, you said today is going to be warming up, and just when I was getting ready for autumn, I was super excited. I was glad the cooler temperatures are here, and I hear we're warming up. How much are we warming up by?
We'll be close to 80 in a lot of areas this afternoon, so it's not going to be a big time warm up. Not much different than yesterday, really, even though we did cool off a few degrees. Actually, a very nice day.
Yeah, as long as it's not 90, I'm okay.
Yeah, no 90s. In fact, we'll see if we're done with that. I think we may be done for that for the season. But if you are planning anything today, David had mentioned the Prosser Balloon Rally, and it is an annual event going on this weekend, starting this morning. Clear conditions out there now. Good news, winds are light. That is favorable for a balloon launch. We'll see if that happens. It's going to be a little bit of a chilly start, but a beautiful afternoon. How's it shape up for the rest of us as we head into Friday and your weekend? I'll have the details with your full storm tracker forecast a little later on.
Thanks, Mike. The time now is 5:09. Coming up on KEPR KIMA this morning, continued coverage of our Japanese beetle problem. The quarantine has been around for a while, though some folks are still unsure about some of the rules and are wondering if we need to be worried about a beetle we found in Oregon. In about 2 minutes, we'll catch up with the Department of Agriculture to learn more. But later in the show, an error in state budget may have officials asking the State Board for Community and Technical Colleges to give back millions, and it would affect schools across the Evergreen State. We'll dive into the error and what comes next. We do have to take a quick break first, but don't go anywhere. Things are just getting started, and more news and weather is on the way.